Hi, welcome to a Yin Yoga practice. My name is Kailey. I'm going to practice today with a pillow. I highly recommend using one, especially if you're showing up to Yin. I'm assuming that you're open to relaxing. And so giving yourself a little prop, a little support to that end is just it's just a nice thing to do. So if you have a pillow nearby, great, grab it. If not, no problem. You can do the poses without the pillow. We're going to start today in a child's pose. So if you're using a pillow or a bolster, you can slide that pillow or bolster up kind of close to your body, maybe even between the knees or the thighs, and then start to walk your arms forward. We'll be in each one of these shapes for 2 to 4 minutes today. So in child's pose today, I'm going to offer either keeping your forehead straight down, or as I'm doing, you can turn your head to one direction. And I'll give you a halfway point. And just start to settle in. And see if there's any way that you can show up for yourself fully here, or maybe just a little bit more fully, so that you can fully absorb the benefits of stretching, of taking some deeper, more conscious or connected breaths. And maybe the benefits of giving your mind a little break from some of the busyness, some of the obligations or responsibilities that we have. It's easy sometimes to almost forget that we have these bodies to live from the neck up. And so while you're here on your mat, giving your attention, giving your awareness a chance to extend down to the sensations below the neck. And speaking of the neck, if you've got your head nodded to one side, go ahead and turn it to the other side. Relax right back into your child's pose. Stay here just a few moments longer. Notice if there's points where it's hard to breathe into your body. And just getting kind of curious about the different sensations, areas that feel tense, areas that feel spacious. And we're not looking to judge anything or even really to fix anything. Sometimes bringing awareness to the sensations is enough to allow the breath to deepen a bit. But what we certainly don't want to do is get into a tug of war with any tension in the body. So if you find tension and it's not loosening up on you, just let it be. Take one more long breath. Let the back side of your body fill. Find some space in the sides of your waist here. And then open your mouth if you'd like. Sigh the breath out. Maybe press yourself up through a seat. We're going to set up for Sphinx pose and work your way down onto your belly. Maybe using that pillow. So there's a couple options in Sphinx pose. If you've got a pillow, you can slide the pillow underneath your ribs here. It's my favorite option. And then fold the pillow so that you've got a pillow for your forehead. Or you can just use the pillow underneath your forehead if you'd rather. Mine's a little bit big for that, but you could make it work. If you don't have a pillow, that's a-okay as well. Elbows are underneath your shoulders. The palms can face downward or they can face upward. Point the nose straight forward for a moment. Notice how that feels in your body. This might be a great place to stay, relaxing your legs. Maybe even feels good to kind of wiggle the legs out a little bit. Make sure there's no clenching in the glutes or the thighs. Another option to make this even more passive, if you don't have a pillow, you can shrug your shoulders towards your ears, drop your chin toward your chest. So choose which variation of Sphinx is going to work best for your body today. Take your time, there's no rush to set it up, especially if you're using props like me. And then let yourself settle in. Bring your awareness into the sensations in your lower back, your lumbar spine. Notice maybe a very gradual building of sensation there. We've brought the lumbar spine into passive compression. At the same time as maybe you're feeling those sensations in the low back, see if you can relax your lower belly, relax the fronts of your hips, the fronts of the thighs. You can experiment with walking the feet a little further away from one another if you'd like. And then just drop into some stillness where you can tune into the movement of your breath. Taking maybe those 3-part breaths, letting the inhales go down and touch the bottom of your lungs, find some space in the ribs. And allowing every exhale to continue to melt any pockets of residual tension that you might be aware of. And traditionally, the head is neutral here, or I should say the neck is neutral. If you've turned your head to either side like I have, go ahead and switch. I'll stay here just a few more moments. So one of the keys in Yin Yoga, or whenever we're doing longer stretches, is that we want to be deliberate and intentional and maybe go slow as we release each pose. For Sphinx, we'll release all the way flat onto the belly. So take your time to press up. Maybe you take a breath or two with that increased lumbar curve. And then eventually lower all the way down, letting the muscles alongside your spine come back to a resting length. Paying particular attention to any sensation in the low back, the pelvis, the hips. We'll set up for sleeping swan next. So you may know this as half pigeon if you're more familiar with the vinyasa practice. Option to use that bolster or that pillow underneath your chest. Slide the right knee forward. You might even bring that pillow or bolster kind of on top of the right shin. Take a moment to kind of let your body adjust to this upright posture. In Yin, we call this swan pose, little back bend. Maybe a big stretch for the front of the left hip. And then eventually that swan head and neck kind of tuck in and curl in for sleeping swan. And without forcing it, see if you can lengthen your breathing just a little bit here. If you happen to practice like a variation of Durga Pranayama, a 3-part breath, you can picture almost like filling up a pitcher of water, breathing in, letting your belly expand ever so gently, letting the rib cage stretch a little bit, and then maybe even the shoulders or the collarbones or the throat feel like they're filling with breath. As you exhale, just like you're pouring out a pitcher of water, relax the throat, collarbones, shoulders, relax the ribs, and let the belly soften. So 3-part breath, inhale, belly fills, ribs expand, collarbones lift. Exhale, collarbones drop, ribs relax, and belly softens. It's a great place to stay in your version of sleeping swan. If you feel pretty flexible, pretty comfortable, pretty relaxed here, you can play around with moving that bolster out from underneath you. Bring your left forearm parallel with the short edge of your yoga mat, and then bring your right arm back behind you, looking for the right foot. So you corkscrew that right arm back behind you. Maybe you catch the right big toe with your peace fingers. And if this takes you totally out of a state of relaxation, just rewind back to a version of the stretch that you felt like you could take that 3-part breath with. Recommitting to moving in a way that feels intentional and connected. You added that bind, gently release the bind. Start to work your way out of the stretch. Shift your weight over to the right hip. And bring the left leg out and bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. Your heels can be really close to your body, or they might be a little distance further away. Find that spacing that gives you a chance of finding some length in your spine. And then bring your thumbs to the inner arch of your foot. And kind of massage through the instep. Go slow here. Find an amount of pressure that feels good. You might feel like some intuitive connection with other areas of your foot, the top of the foot, the ankle. Just checking in with any of those little spots that feel tender. The more connected we are to our feet, the better the signaling is from the mechanoreceptors in the feet, the better information our nervous system gets as we walk around and ambulate on our feet. And the better information the nervous system gets, the more skillful we're able to move, the more intelligent, like firing of the muscles, motor neurons becomes. So connecting with your feet, even through some like self-massage, has some pretty awesome benefits besides the fact that it just feels good. Lift the chest a bit. So nice, good grip on the ankles here. Lift through your chest. Take a breath in and then hinge forward. Your elbows might press into the inner thighs here. And keep a relatively flat back. So we're not going for a big rounding. If that feels great, go for it. Nothing at all wrong with it. But see if you can differentiate between this flat back hip hinge versus the rounded spine, spinal flexion. Both of them are great stretches. Just being able to kind of maneuver between the two, giving you access to different range of motion, different patterns of movement in the body. We'll hold this stretch for the shortest amount of time in this particular practice. Just take another 2 or 3 rounds of breath, letting the inhales find some space in the ribs, maybe the lower back, the sides of the waist or the belly. And letting every exhale be an opportunity to unclench the jaw, to unfurrow the brow. And slowly start to lift back up. Let's shake the legs out just a little bit. So legs out in front of you. You can kind of wiggle the knees up and down or flop the feet in and out. Just kind of release anything. You might even lean back a little bit if that hip hinge was getting to you. And then we're going to set up for a swan on the other side. Left leg comes forward, right leg goes back. If you're using a prop, you can grab it and maybe slide it in front or on top of your left shin rather. Stay lifted for a moment. Just feel into that stretch, that little bit of a back bend. And then as you're ready, you start to move the torso forward, finding sleeping swan, maintaining all of that length in your back leg. Maybe even tracing with your mind's eye once you settle in this line of energy from your right toes all the way up the inseam of your right leg, up through your trunk, all the way to the crown of the head. If you happen to take a variation of this stretch where your arms are extended, you might extend that line of energy all the way to your fingertips. In the gentlest way possible here, use your breath to find some space in your body, find some space in the stretch. And stay with your bolster or your pillow or your version of this pose if it's working well for you. If you want to add that twisted variation, move your prop. Right forearm comes parallel to the top edge of your mat. Left hand reaches back. Find your left toes or the left foot. And then drop your forehead onto your right forearm. Same thing on this side. Same thing applies. If trying out this bind feels like it takes you out of a state of ease or relaxation, if it feels like you can't really breathe as deeply or fully, go ahead and back off to the version of swan that was working out for you best. In fact, for me on the left side, that one just doesn't feel quite as worthwhile. And settle back in, just another handful of breaths or so. When you're ready, slowly start to walk the hands back in, releasing the stretch as you shift the weight to the left leg, bring the right leg forward. This time, bend your knees, plant your feet, and then just windshield wiper your knees. Give a small range of motion side to side here. Notice how the kneecaps feel. All right, we've got a spinal twist and then Shavasana. So option to use your pillow for your spinal twist or your bolster. You bring the pillow onto your left side, maybe up in line with the left hip and knee. Bring the right knee into your chest. I always like to do a couple hip circles here. Move the right kneecap around a few times in each direction. Kind of releasing anything in the low back, resetting the hip. And then guide your right knee over to the left, resting that knee on the pillow. You can T or cactus your right arm. Your nose can point straight up, or if it feels good in your neck, nod your chin toward your right shoulder. With or without that pillow, you have the option to keep the right knee bent or to straighten the right leg out. For me and my hips today, that bent knee variation feels best. Find your version of the twist and then settle in. Your head back through neutral, and then bring that right leg back through center. Take a moment, and then gradually switch sides and move your prop if you need. Setting it up alongside the outside of the right hip and knee, right leg long, left knee in. Draw some circles with the left knee. And switch the direction of those knee circles if you're still taking them. When you're ready, work your way into your twist on this side, either with or without that pillow underneath the left leg, either with the left knee bent or the left leg straight. Left arm pops over to the left a little bit in a cactus shape or a T shape. And then you choose if it feels best to keep the head neutral or nod your chin to the left. And see how far down into your spine you can send your awareness and your breath. Bring the head through neutral. Take a breath in, bring the knee back through center. And then when you're ready, you can set up for Shavasana. It would feel good to slide that pillow underneath your hips or underneath your head. Go for it. Traditionally, Shavasana is practiced flat on the back. The arms and the legs extended out by your side. Take a moment to settle in, maybe scan for any pockets of obvious tension, see if there's anything you can adjust, any way you can kind of shimmy or gently wiggle to give the body a chance to let some of that gripping or clinging to let it go. And then allow yourself to really melt into the surface beneath you. Bringing your awareness to the crown of the head and relaxing the muscles around your scalp. Letting your awareness continue to wash down the entire body. Take your time, just scanning with your mind's eye. Pausing in any places that you feel a need to linger. We'll stay here, just letting your awareness drift, letting it shift, Not trying to direct it in any particular way, just for another minute or two. And listen for the sound of my voice shortly to end our practice. You have the ability and the time in your schedule to stay here, and it would feel good to do so. Don't overthink it, just let yourself stay. If you're ready to move off of your mat, you can start to bring some gentle movement, maybe some rotational movement into the ankles and the wrists. Take some deeper breaths as you stretch your arms back up over your head, bring your legs together, point your feet. Long body stretch here, maybe sip in even more air at the top. Open mouth exhale as you bend your knees and roll to either side. Pause there for just a moment. We're in no rush. And then work your way up to a seated position. Bring your hands to your heart. Give yourself a huge pat on the back, metaphorically or literally, for showing up, for stretching, for connecting, for really taking excellent care of your mind and your body and your spirit. And then my hope is that you continue to take excellent care of yourself for the rest of the day. Bring your hands to your third eye center. Gentle nod of the chin to the chest. Namaste. All right. Take care of yourself. I hope to see you soon.